This is now the 4th season running that the men's stadium has opened its doors. In the 2022-23 campaign, 20,000 took in what was a 2-1 loss to Freiburg. Just over 21,000 then saw a 3-0 win against Köln. Last season, a 1-1 draw against Leverkusen in front of just over 22,000. And we're guaranteed a record-breaking crowd here today because over 30,000 tickets were sold. We're waiting for the final confirmation. As Mühlhaus, oh, is there a handball in there? Yes, there was. And Werder Bremen have an early penalty in the Nord Derby. And Larissa Mühlhaus, the former Hamburg striker, wreaks a little havoc early doors. Oh, I'm not sure that was a penalty, though. I really do think that came off the chest of Svea Stolt. That's the point she made to Dr. Reem Hussein. However, no use of video assistant refereeing technology. The decision will not be corrected. Penalty stands, and Larissa Mühlhaus, the former Hamburg striker, now has an early chance to come back and haunt her former club. She scored 62 goals in 80 games for Hamburg. 17 in 30 before today for Werder Bremen. She has scored 3 of 3 penalties already this season. Larissa Mühlhaus, from the spot, gives Bremen the lead in the Nord Derby. She chooses not to celebrate against her former club, but her teammates will do the celebrating for her. The deadlock is broken in the derby. Larissa Mühlhaus, as cool as you like from the spot. Sent her namesake Heidner the wrong way. It's her 4th goal of the season. All 4 have come from the spot. And it is a dream start for Bremen in the derby. Just the type of moment that the home team needed to feed the pre-match energy here at the Weserstadion. Egert. Oh, does well to skip past Weiss. Now finds Vrede. Lotte Vrede. Lovely cutback. Chance for Hamburg. Well, an immediate response from the visitors. And we promised it was going to be a pulsating football match. So breathtaking. First 6 minutes and change. Bremen a little fortunate to get the penalty, but when given, they converted. It's a nice ball forward. Meneli Brunthala. I mean, if that is not a sight to behold, this is what we've wanted in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga for years. Real support, real atmospheres. It's what these women have deserved for a long time, and they've had to be patient. Too patient, truth be told. But now they are starting to gain the recognition. We had 57,000, a record-breaking crowd for the Nord Derby in the Cup last season. That one was played out at the Volksparkstadion. Today we're at the Weserstadion. But Werder Bremen saw the show put on by Hamburg in their home ground, and they are here to put on a show of their own here. As we close out Super Saturday on Matchday 6. Started with Bayern's 3-1 win against Wolfsburg. A top of the table clash, Bayern going 3 points clear at the summit. And now the Nord Derby has already delivered a thrill and a spill. And Michelle Weiss just trying to keep Bremen on the front foot. She gets the corner for her efforts. Mühlhaus now looks to turn provider from the corner. And Bremen have made a habit of early goals this season. Medina Desic scored after just less than a minute against Nuremberg. Mühlhaus herself scored a penalty after 3 minutes. Now one after 5. As Desic now with a header. Oh, what a chance that was. Thumbs up for the delivery. It was right on point from Mühlhaus. Desic just couldn't make the most of it. Now Weiss let that bounce. Lotte Vrede now happy to take her on in a one-on-one situation, and this is where Lotte Vrede can really show off her talents. And well, she had 2 for company. Gets the corner, the Bremen players. I was going to say, I thought the reaction from Sternad was more about the decision, not actually the contact made. Headed clear. Only momentarily they keep the bodies forward here, Hamburg. That is a loose pass into no woman's land, but they're going to try and make something of it here with Svea Stolt. A distinct lack of support for her, and Mühlhaus chips in defensively. Hannah Nemeth. Ooh, got in the way of the clearance in the end. Now Hamburg giving a good account of themselves in light of the early setback. That really has been the story of their return to the Bundesliga. There we get the most conclusive piece of evidence. That was never a penalty. Really harsh on Hamburg, and such a decisive moment early on in this game. Admittedly, very difficult for Dr. Riem Hussein to spot what happened, because she was actually blocked in her view by the body of Svea Stolt. She felt confident enough to make the decision, though. Desic gets caught, stays down, but play goes on. Mühlhaus combining with Michelle Weiss. A couple of bodies in green to aim for in the box. Cross doesn't quite find its mark. And Dr. Reem Hussein is one of the most experienced and best in the business. I just wonder whether she really should have actually erred on the side of caution with that decision, given the fact that the evidence she must have seen must have been incredibly inconclusive as well. Vrede sweeps clear. It does put Bremen in the box seat of this Nord derby now. They can pick and choose when they force the issue and look for a second goal, because one might likely not be enough this evening. Hamburg have already proven capable of springing a surprise. They did so on Matchday 1. They were 3-1 down against Wolfsburg, the joint record title holders in the Frauen-Bundesliga era, but 2 late goals rescued a 3-3 draw, and there was a little bit of controversy about their equaliser, Svea Stolz's free kick, going all the way through the box and then ultimately bundled over the line by Stine Hannes. Wolfsburg felt that the ball hadn't fully crossed the line, but social media footage from the Hamburg social media department suggested it had. So the most conclusive angle we got was off a mobile phone on the sidelines. That is the beauty of social media nowadays. There's a lot of space out wide for Hamburg to exploit, but that pass was poor in the circumstances. At times Hamburg have been put in their place, 13 years away from the Frauen-Bundesliga, time when the women's team really was completely deprioritized. It was a project that was put back in place by the sporting director Marcel Janssen, and I think they're proud of the progress made in recent times. They want to be a top-tier team in the women's game, Hamburg. And right now, you can already say 5 games into the new season, they've already given more to the Frauen-Bundesliga than Turbine Potsdam did in 22 games last season. And well, Hamburg already have 5 times as many points to their name as Potsdam amassed over the whole campaign. 2 teams to be relegated. And a big question of how many points will be needed to survive. Oh, lovely flick. And now Sternad has space to exploit. She's got Vida to her left. Maya Sternad goes alone. And the second chance opportunity comes to nothing as she clatters into Heidner. That is wasteful from Werder Bremen. Maya Sternad, too selfish, has to square to Vida. If she does, it's 2-0 Werder. She wanted the glory moment. She did not deliver. Too early to tell whether that might be a missed opportunity that comes back to haunt Maya Sternad and Werder. Not a bad effort. But Heidner was equal to it. Fritzi Kromp said that she was counting down the hours and the days to the derby. When asked about how her players would handle the atmosphere, the sheer volume of spectators that they're trying to entertain, tonight. She said, well, it'll be new for me as well. She said her biggest ever attendance as a player was 15,000 in Borisov for the Euros final. She said it's the type of experience that players dream of. And right now, Werder Bremen have done very well to utilise the energy to their advantage. Not just that, but they've fed it too. The early goal from Larissa Mühlhaus, Werder's third goal this season inside the opening 6 minutes of matches. Mühlhaus has got 2 of them, Desic got the other. Becoming a feature under Fritzi Kromp. And again, Bremen come into this game on the back of back-to-back defeats, but those defeats were both to Wolfsburg and Bayern München, away from home. Literally the 2 hardest games of the entire season for Werder Bremen, so no shame in those defeats. Bouncing back to winning ways today, though, will be the right response. Hamburg, though, are looking to respond themselves with Freda. Ghosted past a couple of challenges, but look at Larissa Mühlhaus, the goal scorer, getting back to snuff out the danger, and again, marvellous from Mühlhaus. Liège Brancau started this season saying that her team could surprise anybody. And they got the draw against Wolfsburg match day 1. They held Essen to a 0-0 draw on match day 2. A game in which Essen did hit the bar, so Hamburg were a little lucky to get a point on that occasion. Then they got put in their place by a 6-2 defeat in Freiburg at the Dreiesamstadion. Then their first Frauen-Bundesliga win in over 13 years, a 1-0 victory in Leipzig, courtesy of a Lotte Vrede goal. And then last week, a 5-1 defeat to Hoffenheim. Excuse me, 4-1 defeat to Hoffenheim. Being too generous there. But Hamburg will probably have to accept heavy defeats on occasion this season. That will be part of their reality. But if they can keep picking up precious points along the way, then their survival bid will likely be successful. And right now, you've got to say, there's less concern about Hamburg than there is for Jena and Essen, at the very least, let alone Köln. Nuremberg as well. These teams likely to be the ones dancing with the motion. Piercing pass. Very wayward in the end there from Werder Bremen. Bit of a lull in this game, a really intense start. Very competitive. And Hamburg right now, I think, are just trying to find a way back into this game. Bremen aren't making it easy, but at the same time, Bremen not exactly rising above the challenge right now. And they're almost playing into a scrappy affair. A scrappy affair might just suit Hamburg more. Mühlhaus, here, there and everywhere. Left wing, right wing, through the middle, taking penalties, winning penalties, whether they were or were not spot kicks. And again, don't need to speculate. It wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a handball. Svea Stolt, the ball did hit her arm, but it was the arm that was attached to her body, not the outstretched one. I just think that was the problem. If we get a chance to look at the replay again, it will show her left arm is outstretched, and I think that's probably what convinced Dr. Reem Hussein to give a penalty to Friederike Kromp's side. But she couldn't tell where the ball hit because her view was ultimately blocked by the body of Svea Stolt, and unfortunately no technology in place to help reach the right decision. It'll be a shame if that is a deciding factor tonight, but bit of old school controversy about the Frauen-Bundesliga. That's to be appreciated as well in the modern age where we get everything spoon-fed to us, even if it takes 5 minutes. Neat play. Leni Eger now with Lotte Vrede. This is good build-up here from Hamburg. Patient as shot comes in from range, Nina Reke. There's a sign of just how combative it has been so far. Reke taking on Larissa Mühlhaus. I think Liège Brancow will be pleased with what she's seen from her side since the early setback. Oh, that was a risky challenge, and that was really on the stretch. Studs up from Verena Vida, but truth be told, Dr. Reem Hussein, the referee, had a really good view of it. Here is Vida. Weiss won't give up on the cause, but oh, it's worked out here for Werder Bremen. This is a chance, and Sternard, tightest of angles, gets the corner. Well, don't give up on any moment in a game like this. Looked like Weiss had been wasteful there, but then truth be told, that's not really good enough from Lotte Vrede. Really talented going forward, but needs to show more strength there at the back. She's a lanky 17-year-old. Melanie Brunthaler getting a talking to from Dr. Reem Hussein, who has clearly spotted something in the jostling here. Approaching the half-hour mark, Bremen with a 1-goal lead thanks to that woman, Larissa Mühlhaus. Can she now turn provider? Teasing delivery, and Nina Hauseke was up really well, and now it might break. Lotte Vrede, what a touch that was. Needed to produce the pass. Bundled off the ball in the end, and the chance now back down the other end. Vida improvises, but that ball did hit her hand. As a result, referee's whistle blown. And Nina Reke was playing Vida onside. Back in the starting lineup today, Verena Vida. Verena Vida, former Bayern youth player who actually made her debut for Bayern in the Women's Champions League. 11 appearances all told. Then moved to Freiburg, then moved to Leverkusen, now has found a new home in Bremen. Vida, who did score in that DFB-Pokal der Frauen semi-final clash last season. And cheaply given away. Open play hasn't produced many opportunities for Hamburg, so set pieces will be of great value to them. Schultz floats it in. Decent delivery as well, and oh, dear me, El Sharif comes clattering into the crowd. Took out one of her own teammates and a Hamburg player, but everyone picked themselves up quite quickly. Now get another dead ball opportunity here. Brunthaler taken down by Weiss. Starting to get a little bit heated in the Nord Derby. We've had the Derby atmosphere, now we're getting the Derby challenges. We've got the Derby opener, but the Derby not yet decided by a long way. Half an hour played at the Weserstadion. Easy to deal with for Mariella El Sharif, signed from Kansai Siena in the summer to replace Livia Peng, who moved to join Chelsea, and what a talented goalkeeper she was. Huge loss for Werder Bremen, the Swiss international. Genuinely one of the best shot stoppers the Frauen-Bundesliga has seen in recent times. Shame to see her leave, but then she deserved the bigger move. But Mariella El Sharif, have to say, young Austrian goalkeeper, has acquitted herself very well. She's still chasing a first clean sheet as a Werder Bremen player. Maybe today in the Nord Derby, as we get the first booking of the derby. Juliana Wirtz, sister of Florian. The fact is, she has been a household name in the women's game for a lot longer than her brother has been in the men's. But then again, she is a little bit older. Schultz again to drive it forward. Again, El Sharif comes. Take no prisoners. Goalkeeping there from El Sharif. Oh, Schultz and Stolt get it each other's way, but Leni Egert picks up the loose ball, tries to take on Larissa Mühlhaus. Egert, another young, talented teenager in the Hamburg ranks. Another Hamburg native as well at 17 years old. Talked about the pride she had of signing her first pro contract with her childhood team. Now they have showed up for their side as well, the Hamburg fans. It's about a just over 1 hour trip. Just over 100 kilometers between the two stadiums, the Volksparkstadion and tonight's venue, the Weserstadion, one of the more charming grounds that German football has to offer. One of the more picturesque walks you'll ever take to a football ground, along the banks of the River Weser, where the stadium sits. One of the only stadiums in world football that can be accessed by boat. Fun fact for you there. And tonight, the record-breaking crowd of over 30,000 so far has seen their side make a very positive start, with local bragging rights up for grabs. Well, that's a nice ball to pierce the lines. Oh, dear me. That pass that followed was not. The anticipation of a run that was never made. Now, a penalty that never should have been, right now separating the teams. But that decision, it's not on Larissa Mulhouse. What's on her was the ability to convert, and that's exactly what she did. Her 4th goal of the season. Bremen, as you can see, producing a pretty clinical touch in front of goal. But now Hamburg look for one. Hillebrand, it's just too long, the pass. El Sharif still hasn't had a save to make, but she has been involved in the opening just under 35 minutes. But what will please Hamburg, they were winning almost 60% of the challenges. Those are the types of numbers that will help decide a derby in your favour. Desic. Not the fastest striker we've got in the Frauen-Bundesliga, but a very interesting pickup by Werder Bremen. Her experience, her style of play dovetailing quite well, actually, with that of Larissa Mulhouse, with Sophie Weidauer, the former strike partner, moving to Union Berlin. Hamburg would have been pleased to see Sophie Weidauer leave Werder Bremen, though, given the fact that she was the 2-goal scorer that really won the Nord Derby in the Cup last season. Ooh, unconvincing. Desic. Now with D'Angelo. Desic the target for the cross. Headed clear, and Hamburg can survive a momentary scare. Larissa Heidner, chosen to feature in goal by Lies Brancau, opting for youth over experience. It was Inga Schult who had been the first-choice goalkeeper after Laura Zieger's 3rd knee ligament tear suffered against Essen on Matchday 2. Inga Schult, 28 years old. Larissa Heidner, just 20, signed from Austria Wien in the summer. Said she was delighted to join a Traditionsverein like Hamburg. She was the woman that came off the bench when Zieger got injured against Essen. Technically yet to concede in the Frauen-Bundesliga as a Hamburg player. A 3rd booking of the game as Chiara D'Angelo joins her teammates Maya Sternad and Juliana Wirtz in the referee's books. And you can understand why that decision was made. If she wants to swap shirts with Melanie Brunthaler, she has to wait until after the game. Egert lofting it back into the mix. But just like the free kick that came before it, no purchase found. Desic. Sternad doesn't have a lot of support. Mulhouse is making tracks through the middle. Cross deflected, but it falls kindly for Hamburg, though only as far as Desic goes the clearance. Mühlhaus laying it off for Vida. Good save by Heidner. It was Verena Vida who scored the final goal of the Nord Derby in the Cup last season in the 121st minute to truly break the Hamburg hearts. Can't double Bremen's advantage here, though. Mühlhaus in no rush whatsoever. Deep goes the delivery, and Heidner does well. Weiss will get there first and gets another corner. Outswinger this time, attacked well. Hamburg hold their own. Second chance opportunity still alive here for those in green. Another corner, racking them up. Corner number 6. Another outswinger. Oh, Desic was right there, ready to plant her head on that one, and it was just taken away from her. Now D'Angelo, lovely turn of pace to keep the ball in play. Chiara D'Angelo, lovely turn as well. One-on-one with Stolz. Well, gets the nutmeg, but she was looking for more. More of a hit and hope cross there from the young Austrian. Lovely play, though. 21 years old, signed from St. Pölten, the club that Lies Brankow joined Hamburg from. Oh, what a ball that was from Vida. And somehow Sternad didn't get the touch. Bremen starting to really enjoy themselves. But one goal, too narrow a margin to feel comfortable. For Sternad, that cross, a swing and a miss, but another corner. Make it number 7. Right in at the near post. No one there for Bremen. Mühlhaus will get another opportunity, and they're going to stay forward here. Desic. Oh, how's it go with the header? Well, Werder Bremen have had more chances, they've had better chances. A one-goal lead, a fair reflection of the derby so far. But the roller coaster ride is far from over. Lovely cross, Desic, head to the ball. Vida recycles to D'Angelo. Early ball in, it might come to Mühlhaus. Desic on the turn. Offside flag is up on the far side. Sternad's cross lacked the pace to prove truly problematic there. Mulhouse won't be able to keep that one in play, but she wants the corner, doesn't get it though. Well, they are bouncing and they have every right to. Brilliant first half performance from their side. They've kept Hamburg's at arm's length. They've got the opener themselves. Contentious and controversial situation, but sometimes that's what happens in derbies like this. We've got 1 minute of time added on at the end of the first half. Sternad leaves the loose ball to Weiss. Eger goes diving in. Bremen looking for one last chance in this first half, perhaps. They might not get it, though. Oh, Hamburg on the run. Ulbrich. A penalty. Controversial. A penalty that never should have been. But it was a penalty converted by Larissa Mulhouse that right now separates the sides in the first ever Nord derby in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga. Larissa Mulhouse, the goal scorer. Werder Bremen have the narrow advantage, but will it be enough in this clash of northern giants? At the break, it's Werder Bremen 1, Hamburg 0.
Jetzt kurz Werbung und dann geht's weiter im Programm.
heute mit einem Beginn nach Wunsch, ganz frühes Tor für unsere Frauen und dann ein paar Riesenchancen. Es schien eigentlich gefühlt etwas zu niedrig für den Spielverlauf und wir haben noch eine Halbzeitzeit einen richtig guten Heimsieg daraus zu machen. Jetzt haben wir erstmal noch einen wichtigen Hinweis auf jemanden, den wir gleich haben.
Denn gleich gibt es nochmal natürlich eine Spielzeitanalyse. Wir gucken auf die Highlights und wir gucken darauf, was ist wie gut gelaufen mit einer Expertin, die an dieser Stelle noch nicht verraten wird. Denn zunächst wollen wir ein bisschen zusammen spielen.
So, schlag unsere Tonis, heißt das Stichwort. Das heißt, wir haben eine Kandidatin, die hast du, oder beziehungsweise bei dir auf dem Stadionvorplatz wurde sie ausgelegt. Das ist Lina. Lina ist 11 Jahre alt und wird sich jetzt in 2 Disziplinen mit 2 Tonis messen. Und zwar am Hochhalten und am Lattenschießen. Die beiden Tonis sind auch schon da, kann die Kamera mal, da ist zum einen unser Toni, unser Kids-Club-Maskottchen, das können wir da mal kurz einlassen. Und dann haben wir noch einen anderen Toni, nämlich unsere ehemalige Nummer 32. Genau, der wird gleich Latten schießen. Aber zunächst mal beginnst du mit Hochhalten.
Genau, wir fangen an. Lina, du hast dich im Vorhinein qualifiziert, du kommst aus Weihe. Übst du da jeden Tag Hochhalten, Dribbeln, alles das Einmaleins des Fußballs?
Also, ja, manchmal schon, aber jetzt nicht jeden Tag.
Okay, wir gucken, ob es reicht. 10-mal musst du jeweils den Ball hochhalten. Du trittst an gegen die böse Toni. Und wer von euch es geschafft hat, dann geht es. Kommt mal beide an die Bälle ran. Vor den Ball. 2
Versuche gibt es, ne?
Richtig, 2 Versuche.
Für jeden.
Und wir zählen natürlich mit. Okay, ihr macht es parallel. Nehmt den Ball und los geht's. Daumen gedrückt. Toni hat schon mal versiebt. Wie viel hatten wir bei Lina? 3 bei Toni und 3 auch bei Lina. Zweiter Versuch. Wer schafft mehr?
Achso, und wir müssen dazu sagen, es gibt um das aktuelle Frauentrikot, ne? Als Gewinn für Lina.
Los geht's. Auf bitte und Head 1. Oh, das sieht gut aus. Ein bisschen Applaus für Lina.
Oh, aber Toni macht sich da jetzt auch gerade sehr gut.
Ja, das ist aber der 3. Versuch. Toni, das zählt nicht. Dann musst du jetzt, das sieht hübsch aus, aber zu spät. Toni guckt sich aber den Profis gerne die Tricks ab, aber nicht. Lina, erste Runde gewonnen. Rüber zu Ailton.
Lina, ich habe ja eben erfahren, dass du aus Weihe kommst. Ich komme ja eigentlich auch aus Weihe. Dann drückt die noch besonders wieder um. Jetzt haben wir einen schweren Gegner für dich, nämlich Ailton. Und es geht um Lattenschießen vom Elfmeterpunkt. Die Bälle liegen hier schon so ein bisschen aufgereiht. Und ich würde sagen, Toni fängt an und dann abwechselnd. Und es geht darum, die Latte zu treffen. Toni will, dass Lina anfängt, oder was? Nee, komm, Toni, fang du mal an. Sie hat jetzt oder willst du, na gut, Lina, dann fang du an. Du bist auch ein Linksfuß. Los geht's, Lina. Die Latte ist das Ziel. Fängst du an? Ja, fang mal an. Toni, dann du. Jetzt versuchen wir den Ausgleich. Ja. Oben. Tina. Tobi. Oh, der war ganz, ganz knapp. Lina, jetzt kannst du in Führung gegen Ailton. Das haben noch nicht viele geschafft. Weiter geht's. Nicht ganz. Toni, jetzt kannst du hier noch den Sieg davon tragen. Toni, jetzt auch nicht, aber es ist jetzt gar nicht schlimm. Das Unentschieden gegen Ailton ist aller Ehren wert. Jetzt machen wir gleich ein Foto. Soll ich das Foto machen von euch? Okay, wichtig ist aber, dass du auf jeden Fall gewonnen hast, weil du hast den anderen Toni geschlagen. Deswegen ist das Trikot jetzt auf jeden Fall schon mal bei dir. Das bekommst du von Katharina.
Erst das Foto, das ist wichtiger.
Ja, Moment hier.
Die 2 hast du platt gemacht. Und das ist der Gewinn, das aktuelle Trikot der Frauenmannschaft zu erhalten in der Fanwelt. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Lina, das ist ein Applaus. Und weiter geht's.
jetzt hier mit einer Spielerin, die leider gerade nicht spielen kann, weil sie einen Knorpelschaden hat. Caro, siehst du bei mir, wie geht's dir? Die Frage muss jetzt mal erlaubt sein.
Ja, ich würde sagen, mir geht es den Umständen entsprechend ganz gut. Ich freue mich trotzdem, heute hier zu sein. Das ist ein mega geiles Erlebnis. Also heute geht es mir gut.
Okay, wir schauen einfach mal auf die Wand jetzt gemeinsam, drehen uns da ein bisschen ein und schauen uns auf 4 Highlights insgesamt an. Zuerst ist natürlich gleich die frühe Führung, die sehen wir jetzt in der 6. Minute. Das war ein sehr abgezockt verordneter Elfmeter.
Ja, ich würde auch sagen, hat Larissa sehr, sehr gut gemacht. Wie immer würde ich sagen, macht die stark. Ich muss sagen, ich war die ersten 15 Minuten in der Ostkurve, also falls ihr zuhört, ihr seid die geilsten Fans der Welt.
Wir sind bei der 17 Minute direkt eine Riesenchance, da fehlt leider der Querpass, der Schuss dann nicht ganz so gefährlich.
Ja, ich glaube, wenn Maya Puki sieht, die links da mitläuft, dann ist das wahrscheinlich ein Tor, aber ja, knappe Chance, weiter geht's, würde ich sagen.
Hier schön den Ball auch auf der Torlinie ergaunert, kann man fast sagen, und dann abgefälschter Ball. Und dann 39 Minuten noch eine tolle Parade unserer Gästetorhüterin.
Ja, ich würde sagen, der ist auch knapp gut gehalten von der Torhüterin. Ja, ich glaube, wir müssen jetzt einfach noch ein Tor nachlegen. Ja.
Jetzt geht's gleich weiter. Wir haben viele, viele Chancen gesehen, viele Ecken. Was muss jetzt als nächstes dringend passieren?
Ja, wie eben schon gesagt, ich glaube, wichtig, dass wir jetzt noch ein Tor nachlegen. Ich würde sagen, das Spiel ist relativ ausgeglichen. Hamburg jetzt nicht unbedingt mit den zwingenden Torchancen, aber ja, wichtig, dass wir jetzt noch ein Tor nachlegen.
Wie hart ist es für dich, am Rand zu stehen? Du wärst gerne auf dem Platz, oder?
Ja, wie gesagt, also es ist eine mega geile Atmosphäre. Also nochmal danke an die Fans. Ich habe das ja letztes Jahr auch miterleben dürfen. Also sah es nicht ganz so voll aus, also ja, ist schon sehr, sehr hart, aber wie gesagt, es macht trotzdem Spaß, hier zu sein.
Caro, dir gute Besserung, auch dass du ganz bald wieder hier mit den anderen auf dem Rasen stehen kannst. Wir haben einen Musikwunsch und von einer Kollegin.
Und jetzt folgt euer Musikwunsch des Spieltags. Song Up.
Hier Nägel mit Köpfen machen und wollen, dass das ein richtig tolles Nordderby wird, einen guten Ausgang für unsere Mannschaft. Hier sind eure Werder Frauen, hier ist Werder! Werder! Werder!
The foghorns blare. Welcome back to the Weserstadion, where we are closing out Super Saturday in fine style on Matchday 6 in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga. It started with a top-of-the-table clash, Wolfsburg against Bayern, and it was Bayern, as has so often been the case in recent times, who came out on top. They now lead the league by 3 points. But this, a highlight act in the north of Germany, the first ever Nord derby in Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga history. Werder Bremen playing host to Hamburg. And that woman on the left of your screen, Larissa Mühlhaus, has scored the only goal of the game so far from the penalty spot. It should never have been a penalty. Lies Brancau will be disappointed that it was given, but it was. She converted, Larissa Mühlhaus. And as a result, right now, it is advantage Werder Bremen in the derby. Mühlhaus with the motivational words, along with Medina Desic. Bremen need to maintain performance levels, but Hamburg are likely to bite back in this second half. A couple of half chances for them before the break. A change at halftime as Maria Mikolayova is coming on for Paulina Machtens. Bit of a surprise change there to see the captain withdrawn for Hamburg. Mikolayova, one of the players that Hamburg raided from St. Pölten, the club where they signed Lies Brancau, their head coach, from. And Mikolayova is going to have the honours to get the second half underway. The first ever Nord derby in Frauen-Bundesliga history. Right now, it's advantage Werder Bremen. Two teams that want to crown themselves Queens of the North. But right now, in front of this record-breaking crowd of over 30,000 at the Weserstadion, it is Werder, thanks to Larissa Mühlhaus's first half penalty, that lead at the start of the second half. James Surrogate, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company, as it has been the case throughout Super Saturday. 45 minutes left of action today in Germany's top flight. And something tells me the roller coaster ride has only just started here at the Weserstadion. Hamburg looking for an early response. Oh, off the post! So close! And still, the danger loomed large until Eger couldn't sort out her feet. But, oh my word, what a moment. The start of the second period, and it's the substitute, Mikolayova, with one of her first touches of the ball that almost makes an immediate impact to level the scores seconds after the restart. Talk about an introduction to this game. El Sharif was getting nowhere close to that. But it's off the frame of the goal and not in off it. But there we get the signs that Hamburg aren't exactly about to raise the white flag. Why would they? They're the underdogs in a game like this. Yes, they're a goal down. They've got nothing to lose now. The situation they will find themselves in more often than not this season. But as we saw against Wolfsburg on Matchday 1, sometimes that brings out the best of them. Here's Mühlhaus, skipping past Stolt, cut back to Sternad! Oh, what a save off the post! 2 minutes of the second half played. Both teams have hit the frame of the goal. This one brought out a wonderful save from Larissa Heidner. Maya Sternad has to score, though. Brilliant link-up play. Mühlhaus, incredible guile just to go past Stolt, but then Heidner, hats off for keeping that one out. I said the roller coaster ride had only just got it started at the Weserstadion, and already a few more thrills and spills at the start of the second half, a few more highs and lows at both ends of the pitch. A taste of things to come. More defending now for the visitors to do. The second goal would likely put Bremen out of reach even in the early stages of this game, though again, that matchday 1 result against Wolfsburg, maybe we shouldn't draw conclusions like that too early. Mühlhaus, the set-piece specialist, teases one in, and Desic was closest to it but didn't commit. Friederike Fritzi Kromp talked about the fact that Hamburg have arrived in the Frauen-Bundesliga, say they have brave phases. Was expecting a deeper block than maybe they've presented with here tonight. So we've got Hillebrand, who's come off second best in that clash. It is the type of game that takes no prisoners. There is no mercy shown in the Nord derby. Name it. It's a clean challenge, but it was the trailing arm that just caught Hillebrand in the face. It was a feature of the first half. Hamburg winning 60% of challenges. One of the few numbers that would have spoken in their favour, one of the few numbers that would have pleased Lies Brankow. Here's Hillebrand, linking it all up. And they get a goal kick. A bit of confusion between the officials. The lineswoman said goal kick. Dr. Reem Hussein, the referee, said corner. One of those as well where I just wonder, I almost hope that she wasn't told or shown footage of the penalty incident in the first half, but if she was, does that then play on the mind of a referee in the second? Not that she would try and even it out unnecessarily or unfairly, but will she be aware that she made a big mistake in the first half that right now is the difference in this match? Corner for Hamburg. Sharif with authoritative goalkeeping. Back into the mix it goes. Danger not cleared. It might come to Brunthaler. Oh, D'Angelo. Well, that was a bit of risky defending in the way she went into that challenge, but it came off. I think it was Brunthaler as well that was making big protests about a potential push. For Hamburg, 2 of their 3 previous stints in the Frauen-Bundesliga ended after just 1 season. They'll be hoping that's not the case in the current campaign. And the early signs are promising. Again, there's much more concern for the likes of SKS Essen, Karl Zeiss Jena, Nürnberg and Köln than there is for Hamburg, even as a newly promoted side. But at no point can a team like Hamburg rest on their laurels. They have got to scrap for every point because every point is precious. And right now, Bremen haven't put this game beyond reach. Desic, though. Oh. I've got to be honest, there's a couple of offside decisions at both ends of the pitch that have raised an eyebrow because I don't think they were right. Of course, we've got a dynamic double-header. Super Saturday in the Bundesliga on match day 6. The action keeps apace tomorrow, though. A triple header. Starts with Freiburg against Frankfurt. Hoffenheim, Leverkusen, then Köln, Union Berlin. Right now, Mühlhaus has 2 in the middle to aim for. Can't pick out either. Second chance opportunity. Vida swing and a miss. Hausiger still scrapping for everything. Oh, flashed wide. A fizzing half volley from Medina Desic. Bremen are knocking on the door of a second goal. And they are taking Hamburg players out at every opportunity right now. The latest is Schultz after the challenge from Hausiger, but she did win the ball even if she did dive in from behind. It's a fair challenge, fair win. Doesn't mean it wasn't painful for Schultz. That was just sliced wide from Medina Desic. Signed from Nuremberg in the summer. She actually scored a hat-trick against her former side in a 4-1 win for Werder Bremen back on Matchday 2. For Werder Bremen, this would maintain their unbeaten start on home soil to this season. 1 win, 1 draw so far. Beating Hoffenheim, that was a really impressive result. Emilka Papai scoring in the last minute of that game, deep into injury time to win it for Werder Bremen. The draw coming against Freiburg when, again, a controversial penalty went in their favour. Larissa Mühlhaus went down after a challenge by Ingeborg Theodadotir. Really, if you watch that back, it should have been a penalty. Theodadotir was then sent off as well. It shouldn't have been a penalty, should never have been a sending off. But again, Mühlhaus does what Mühlhaus does, which is she steps up, she converts to penalty. To her, it's irrelevant whether it was controversial or not. Fact is, penalty given, she needs to convert, and that's what she's done 4 times out of 4 so far this season. Unbelievable. You've got to wonder whether they can keep winning penalties with this regularity. Nevertheless, here come Werder again. Weiss, handball. Oh, it's another one. Well, this one, I think, looked legitimate. Goodness me, though. Match day 6, and this is the 5th penalty that Werder Bremen have won this season. The 2nd of the evening, and it'll be Mühlhaus again. But again, unlike the penalty from the first half against Svea Stolt, this looked like a handball against Egert. Weiss, yeah, the arms outstretched. That is a legitimate penalty. The first was not, the second was. Same old story, it's Mühlhaus against Heidner. Mühlhaus continues her perfect record from the spot. That's 5 of 5 as she goes joint top of the goal-scoring charts in the Frauen-Bundesliga. And it's Bremen who double their derby advantage. Could that be the derby decider? Larissa Mühlhaus coming back to haunt her former club. A brace to put Bremen on course to bounce back to winning ways after back-to-back defeats against Wolfsburg and Bayern. She joins Selina Cerci on 5 goals. She scored 10 in her debut season in the Bundesliga. Larissa Mühlhaus, and she's already halfway there in a season where we've expanded to 14 teams and we will get 4 extra fixtures as a result. Now she's on for a hat-trick. She's got just over half an hour left to deliver. And I reckon if you ask Larissa Mühlhaus, she'd like the next goal to be from open play. And sometimes you get karmic justice in football. Oh, not quite the case today. Because if anything, karma would have worked in Hamburg's favour after the initial penalty should never have stood. Instead, it's almost like the football gods have course corrected here and said, well, the first penalty shouldn't have stood. We'll give you a penalty that was legitimate. Now with this 2-goal lead, a bit of breathing room. Verena Vida making way, Amira Afawi entering the fray. Plenty of time for Werder Bremen to really hammer the point home against Hamburg now. Plenty to celebrate, plenty to enjoy. And they might get local bragging rights at the end of it as well. Because while Werder Bremen and Hamburg, they won't compete for titles this season, local bragging rights are just as fun to own. Mühlhaus. Oh, Desic was unmarked if Heidner didn't get a hand to that one. Got to enjoy the positions that Desic picks up. All it takes is one pass finding its mark. She knows it. She knows. And she's even telling Mühlhaus, that was that close to getting to me. Victoria Schwalm and Christine Meyer coming on. Sophie Hillebrand didn't have a lot to work with, got a slap in the face for her efforts this evening. Meanwhile, Anna-Lena Böhler also making way. Potential switch from a 5-woman back line here for Hamburg, so potentially saying that they're going to risk it to maybe get a goal back and make something happen. Ah, Mikola Jova with a real chance to get that outlet pass out to Victoria Schwalm. Oh, that's never a foul. Oh, that's very harsh indeed on Victoria Schulz. And then we get the line, or no line drawn, but it wasn't offside against Vida in the build-up to the second penalty. But here's the conclusive evidence there. You can see that one really did hit the outstretched arm in a way that the first penalty with Svea Stolt didn't. Leni Egert, unfortunately the guilty party the second time around. Bremen with victory tonight would breach the double-digit mark in terms of points. 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses so far. But again, given the fact that those 2 losses were both away from home against the 2 best teams in the Frauen-Bundesliga, those defeats can be taken with a huge pinch of salt. Otherwise, you look at these results for Werder Bremen, my goodness, they're impressive. 4-1 win against Nuremberg, 2-1 against Hoffenheim, 2-0 up here against Hamburg, and that 1-1 draw on Matchday 1 against Freiburg. Now the chance, Desic just sees the ball drift away from her, favouring Heidner on that occasion. Oh, no, again. Nemeth put her head at a dangerous height in the 50-50. I think Maya had every right to try and bring that ball under a spell. Well, there you go, the record-breaking crowd cemented in stone. The official figures 37,000, smashing the previous record of just over 22,000 here at the Weserstadion for a women's game. Set last season, the 1-1 draw with Bayer Leverkusen, now 37,000 turn up and turn out for the Nord Derby. And they've turned out in a big way. Werder Bremen have used the energy, they've fed the energy. And they have given back to these home fans. Oh, Sharif, El Sharif really read the danger well there, but if the throw-in comes quickly... Oh, well, Dr. Reem Hussein wanted them to drop back a little bit further. It was interesting when Thomas Horsch announced his decision to leave the club before the end of last season. It was described as a Paukenschlag here in Germany. A bitter blow, a really heavy blow, to lose a head coach that had been so transformative for these Northern Giants. As he put it, Werder Bremen are always fighting for survival. But the fact is he turned them into an established mid-table side, or even a top half of the table team, you could argue. And it wasn't to be taken for granted that Fritzi Kromp would come in and pick up where he left off, but my word, has she. Beaten finalists in the DFB Pokal der Frauen last season by Bayern, but again, a 4-2 loss in that game where they gave a wonderful account of themselves in the role of underdogs. A really bright future ahead for Werder Bremen if they can maintain this trajectory. Sternad making the run, the pass. Didn't match it. It was something that Fritzi Kromp, the Bremen head coach, referenced when she joined the club as well. The resonance with women's football amongst the local fans, said it was one of the things that really attracted her to this job. And well, if her point isn't proven by the turnout tonight, then I don't know what would prove it. Lena Hausiger, the captain, spent almost a year out with an ACL tear. When she returned, she was ready for sore muscles, in her words. Tonight, the derby spoils are going her side's direction. They're not going to settle for a 2-0 lead, though. Oh, chance. Here's Hausiger. Ah, didn't take it first time, and the pass forces Arfawi wide. Ah, she had to take it first time. Come on, at 2-0 up. Just put your foot through it, Lena Hausiger. Right in front of their ardent supporters, who raised the decibel level a little further here in the hopes of a third. And a real magical night at the Weserstadion. Mühlhaus's corner had drifted out of play before coming back in. Hence the goal kick. One of the defining features of Werder Bremen is how would they deal with the adversity of those back-to-back defeats to Wolfsburg and Bayern. Very well indeed is the answer. And of course the game doesn't get easier for them next time out, the one before the international break. They travel to Germany's financial capital to take on Eintracht Frankfurt. So in the space of 4 league matches, they've had their 3 most difficult away games, and then the Nord Derby right in between it all. Certainly not an easy spell, but they come away with just 3 points from a possible 12. That will be nothing to be ashamed of from Werder Bremen. But I tell you what, a performance like this and the form they're showing this season, they really can take the fight to Eintracht Frankfurt, who haven't looked as convincing in the current campaign as they have in recent ones. And there you see perhaps the most convincing replay yet. And Mühlhaus picked the opposite corner to her first penalty. Same result though. And the former Hamburg striker might just have decided the Nord Derby in Werder Bremen's favour. Now the football gods know how to play to a narrative, don't they? Exactly what's happened tonight. Lovely run being made. Juliana Wirtz gave the call to Larissa Mühlhaus. Mühlhaus's ball is wonderful, but then Wirtz, oh dear me, take a touch. Settle yourself. You're 2-0 up, you're sitting pretty. There's no need to rush a moment like that. And Juliana Wirtz, one of the more experienced in the Bremen ranks, really. Bit of naivety there. Oh, that's lovely. Brunthaler! Brunthaler! Oh, best chance of the game for Hamburg. 69 minutes played, and Mariella El Sharif, for the first time, is truly tested. If they'd scored that, it really could have been a game changer. Mühlhaus will not want to come off. But could this be the end of her hat-trick hopes? Just stretching there, yeah, she pulled something, didn't she? Immediate reaction. A bit of an ice pack, bit of a massage, bit of a shake of the leg, and she'll be set to continue. A special atmosphere, a special crowd for a special game. History made in the Frauen-Bundesliga with the first ever Nord derby. Everyone was really looking forward to it. And you can understand why, given what we've seen so far. And this game is not won yet. Improvisation from Mikola Jova, but offside flag up against Brunthaler. Mühlhaus is back on. Now they're still bouncing. What a time to be a Hamburg fan. The men's team back in the Bundesliga for the first time in 7 years. The women's team back in the Frauen-Bundesliga for the first time in 13 years. Top flight football back in the port city. They'll have been well aware that they were the underdogs tonight. Juliana Wirtz, Medina Desic exit the fray. Emeka Papai and Sharon Beck enter it. Emeka Papai, who got that last gasp winner against Hoffenheim in the 2-1 win. Sharon Beck, who missed the majority of last season with a knee injury suffered soon after announcing her decision to join Werder Bremen from Köln. Just 3 appearances last season, already 5, all of them, though, off the bench so far. Mühlhaus does well, Arfawi. And Mühlhaus trying to work it in tight spaces. It breaks for Weiss. Early ball. And Sternad's did everything she could to try and keep it in play, but no rewards for her efforts on that occasion. Those are the pictures we've been looking forward to. Not the result that Hamburg would have wanted. And not to take anything away from what has been a competitive game, but this really is a celebration of women's football in the north of Germany and how far it's come, the pulling power it has now. The fact that Werder Bremen and Hamburg are two of the traditional powerhouses of German football, and they want to establish that status in the women's game as well. Bremen well on their way to doing that. Hamburg at the beginning of what could be a long journey. But this is a derby that has defined the men's game, and it's only just starting to write a little bit of history in the women's side of things. But so far, it is Werder Bremen dominating. Another rough challenge has claimed another victim. Right now, Bremen continue to push for a third. Oh yeah, nasty turn of the ankle there for Nina Reke. Muka Papai just trying to play the ball forward, and look at that. Yeah, oh yeah. Just as she went to plant, the foot was hit by the ball, which twisted it in a different direction than she was intending to plant it. And there we see that one shot on target for Hamburg, stinging the palms of Mariella El Shari from Brunthaler. Otherwise, Bremen, really good value for their 2-0 lead, and what they've done in the tackles one department has really evened things out because Hamburg were dominating. Arfawi in behind Eger, to snaps unwisely at the heels. First Hamburg player booked in the Nord Derby, Leni Egert. Again, Larissa Mühlhaus just showing off the full repertoire of her skills this evening. The penalty taking, the hold-up play, the ability to link things up for Werder Bremen going forward, her ability to drift out wide, left and right, and affect proceedings. And then, of course, a devilish delivery from set pieces. There to be attacked. It bounces free. Oh, Sharon Beck almost got on the end of it. Hamburg happy that the loose ball went their way in the end. Mühlhaus wants it, Mühlhaus gets it, turns the corner, tries to produce the cheeky reverse pass, but again the offside flag, bringing a halt to the Hamburg advances, or the Werder Bremen advances, I should say. They've still enjoyed their day out at the Weserstadion, and rightly so. I don't think they've really stopped bouncing tonight, the Bremen fans. They might have more reason to have a bit of hop in their step. Chiara D'Angelo. Oh, lovely effort, but well saved. The little check back, a little dummy. Just to fashion the space for the shot. Larissa Heidner able to keep it out. Well, from her perspective, she'll be pleased that the only 2 times she's been beaten this afternoon are both from the spot, where goalkeepers are always the underdogs. Strikers given a 77% chance of conversion from penalties. Well, with Larissa Mühlhaus, it's 100% this season, 5 of 5. 2 tonight. Oh, we've got another yellow card flashed out. Oh, Lena Hausicke. I feel like Dr. Reem Hussein has tried to stamp her authority on this game. I'm just not sure she's done it in the right way. Flashing yellow cards is not the best approach, but according to Lena Hausicke, she pushed Victoria Schultz, who is still having a few words with Hausicke, the captain for Werder Bremen, who probably says, well, come on, this is the Nord Derby. Mühlhaus goes low with the delivery. Touched away. Arfawi going all the way back to Mariella El Sharif. Oh, the pass found its intended target. There you see confirmation of the next game for Werder Bremen away to Eintracht Frankfurt before the international break kicks into gear. Then you look at those games, Union Essen, Leipzig, Köln. Potentially 12 points from 12 on offer there for Hamburg. Next game at the Volksparkstadion. A must-win against Karl Zeiss Jena. Win that and they really will be sitting pretty after 7 matches. Arfawi. Got the touch but couldn't get to the ball ahead of Heidner. I feel like Liège Brancau's Hamburg side have nothing to be ashamed of here tonight. They've given a good account of themselves, and again I look at a performance like this tonight and I go, you know what, Hamburg gave more to these 82 minutes than Turbine Potsdam did in many of their 90-minute matches. I don't mean to keep beating the dead horse there in Turbine Potsdam, the relegated side from last season, but when you come to the top flight of German women's football and you have 22 match days and you only pick up 1 point, that's just simply not good enough. And already the 3 newly promoted sides this season, Nuremberg, Union Berlin and Hamburg, have all given more to the top flight than Turbine Potsdam did in 22 matches last season. The relegation battle is going to be a fascinating one. Right now Hamburg stretched at the back, Bremen looking to rub further salt in the wounds of their rivals. Maya Sternad. Sternad. Sharon Beck. Straight at Heidner. Not the first time tonight that Maya Sternad's been a little too selfish in a moment where she didn't need to be. Chance in the first half where she had Verena Vida to her left to tee up for a golden opportunity. Instead, she tried to finish off the chance herself. This was a fizzing effort from Sharon Beck. And there we see the reason that Lina Hauser got a yellow card, the two-handed push on Victoria Schultz, enough to draw the ire of referee Dr. Reem Hussein. The scarves are flying. Green-white goosebumps tonight. Schwalm, the latest player booked. Hint of a handball, but play breaks for Lotte Vrede and Hamburg anyway. She was a real bright spark in the early exchanges of this game, but has completely disappeared since the start of the second half. Truth be told, we were expecting a bit of a Hamburg response after the restart, and we never really got it. If anything, this game has been really well managed by Werder Bremen. They're on course for their first clean sheet of the season, which will be pleasing, I'm sure. Werder Bremen have never finished better than 7th in the Frauen-Bundesliga, and maybe the opportunity is there this... What a debut campaign it would be for Fritzi Krom. Unproven at this level. Talked about the fact that after years of working with youth teams, that she felt it was time to test herself with a senior side. Fair to say she was very ready for the test. Her aim, she said, 30 points or a top 6 finish. Ah, Fawi takes it off the toes of Papai. Weiss clips it in. It's half shot, half cross, dealt with by Heidner. Oh. Papai booked for trying to block the kick out from Heidner. The 5th Werder Bremen player in the book in this derby. Ricarda Valkling, Rike Diekmann coming on. Maya Sternad had chances to get herself on the score sheet today. She had chances to set up teammates, and when she shot, she probably should have played the pass. Valkling is on, so too Rike Diekmann. Michelle Weiss makes way as well. For Valkling and Diekmann, it is a taste of the derby. One that's already been decided. Bremen could really ram the point home with a 3rd goal here if they fancy it. Under no threat whatsoever. A game of few blemishes. Raider! Wow! Looking for an act of defiance at the last. That was Mariella El Sharif's best save of the game in the 88th minute. That was destined for the top corner as well, wasn't it, from Raider? Looking to add to her goal scored in Leipzig. That one was a winner. If that had found the back of the net, it would have been nothing more than a consolation effort tonight. They wouldn't say no to one, though. Schultz with the corner. Women over at the back post, but no one with the decisive touch. Oh, Brunthala did so well there, and personally, I thought she kept the ball in play. But the whistle, not in my lips. Four minutes of time added on at the end of the first ever Nord Derby in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga. Papai. Imuka Papai looking for a highlight at the end of this match, but cannot deliver. Oh, the offside flag is up. Papai was in behind. Maybe the third goal is just not going to come for Fritzi Kromp's side. It has been in the air for the majority of this second half since they doubled their advantage. And the slow clap, just underlining the context of this encounter. Bremen, you've got to say, sometimes the scoreline doesn't tell the full story. Tonight it does. Oh, what a chance for Brunthala. That act of defiance, so close to being delivered by Hamburg's top goal scorer, the summer signing from St. Pölten. Such a wonderful player, such a wonderful asset for Hamburg to have. And look at that movement, it's brilliant play from Brunthala. In the end, the cross at an awkward height, just off the knee, can't guide it on target. But I'll tell you what, Melanie Brunthala, she is going to be one of the reasons that Hamburg stay up if they do this season. She's relished the step up in Germany's top tier. Just over a minute of time added on remaining now. One last heave forward for the women in white, blue and red. Brunthala, oh, what a first touch. Finds Raider, space for Raider to shoot if she wants. Tested El Sharif earlier, this time it's always rising. And seen over. They sense the moment, they sense the victory. It's one that's rarely been in doubt. Oh, given away though, Schwalm. There might be something in this for Hamburg. Brunthala looks to turn. Now tees up Mikolayova. Nel Sharif, I think, makes the save. Well, she atones for the error herself. Fritzi Krom with a nice shake of the head there. Complacency cannot be afforded even the dying seconds of a match like this. This will be the final piece of action in the Northern Derby. Whipped in, dangerous, dealt with. Werder Bremen are queens in the north. The first ever Nord Derby in Frauen-Bundesliga history, in front of a record-breaking crowd of 37,000 at the Weserstadion. A clash of northern giants that lived up to its billing, decided by 2 penalties. One controversial, one not. Both converted by former Hamburg striker Larissa Mühlhaus. And it's Werder Bremen that take the local bragging rights. The final score, Werder 2, Hamburg 0. Oh, what a way to close out Super Saturday, and what a Super Saturday it has been. 2 mouth-watering fixtures to savour for Frauen-Bundesliga fans. The first a top-of-the-table clash between Wolfsburg and Bayern, won by the 3-time defending champions as they go 3 points clear at the top of the table. But here it was all about the derby spoils. Werder Bremen and Hamburg, they're not going to compete for titles, but local bragging rights are just as fun to own, and look at the emotions on display here at the Weserstadion. It's the 4th time that Werder's women have graced this hallowed turf. 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss now is their record at the Weserstadion, but this win is a big one. A special atmosphere, a special night, a special game. A clash of northern rivals. A derby that has defined the men's game is now writing some chapters in the women's. And right now those chapters are dominated by green and white. Werder Bremen are the queens of the north. The derby decided by a former Hamburg player in Larissa Mühlhaus. A result that moves Bremen onto 10 points this season. Fritzi Krom's debut campaign as Bremen head coach continues to go from strength to strength. The question tonight was, how would they handle the adversity of defeats against Wolfsburg and Bayern? Well, they bounce back to winning ways at the first time of asking. They get their first clean sheet of the season, and it's against none other than their northern derby rivals, Hamburg. The newly promoted side still have a long way to go if they want to battle for supremacy in the north. Tonight, and this season, it belongs to Werder Bremen. The first ever Nord Derby in Frauen-Bundesliga history was delightful. James Thorogood, your match commentator, thank you for joining. The final score, Werder Bremen 2, Hamburg 0.